guys, it's Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I wanted to start to introduce you to my 4 newest rats, and today's video will focus on my girl Carrot. Now, I have had Carrot and her siblings for 4 weeks, I believe at this point, so about a month. And usually I introduce new rats sooner than this. However, unfortunately, there has been a bit of a mix-up with the breeder. Essentially, I was supposed to get 2 dwarf rats from them, and, well, the 2 rats that were supposed to be dwarf ended up not being dwarf, but on top of that, there was a 3rd rat that I was also supposed to get that she was going to give me for free because, unfortunately, that rat only had 1 eye. And as it turned out, that rat unfortunately passed away before pickup date. So I was given the option between 2 other rats, and I ended up just taking both of them. And, well, as luck would have it, only one of those rats ended up being dwarf. So out of 4 rats, only 1 is dwarf, and that is something that I'm a little bit disappointed about, to be honest, because I did want to get more dwarf rats, specifically because they resist a lot of the more common types of cancers in rats. And my senior dwarf rat Toast, who is over 2.5, she does not have any tumors. And none of my dwarf rats in particular have had any sort of mammary tumors, which is the main reason I wanted to get dwarfs in the first place. So a little bit disappointed that 3 did not end up being dwarfs, but all of the rats are very sweet and social. So, you know, obviously that's what matters. And I am kind of working with the breeder to decide if I will potentially bring in another dwarf rat from them, because I don't like having just 1 dwarf in a group of standards. They all get along just fine, but I feel more comfortable having at least 2 dwarfs. And of course I do actually have 2 dwarfs right now. My senior dwarf rat Toast is still around, but she is over 2.5 years old, so realistically she's not going to live, you know, as long as the baby, and so I just have to kind of think about that. But anyways, long story aside, basically Carrot here was one of the original rats I was supposed to get, and she is one of the standard size rats, and her variation is a Havana variegated Rexoid. Havana is the color. It's this kind of tannish color with dark ruby eyes. And Rexoid is the coat type. It's kind of a non-specific coat type because there are a lot of different Rex variations out there. However, this girl here has a bunch of different genetics working on her coat type, and so we're not exactly sure specifically what her coat type is. I do have some suspicions about it being double velveteen because it's very thin, but she doesn't have any bald spots like a double Rex would. And it's also extremely soft. Like, it literally feels like the down feathers on a bird. She is easily the softest rat I've had, like super, super soft. But anyways, that's her variation. As far as Carrot herself goes, she is a super, super sweet rat. She definitely has a extremely good temperament. She's one of those rats that I like to call ragdoll rats, which is basically like a ragdoll cat in rat form. I mean, you pick her up and she immediately goes limp. She gets super relaxed whenever she's handled. She's super, super easy to handle. Even if she's running around like crazy excited, you pick her up and she will immediately relax. It's super cute. On top of that, she's just super sweet in general. She likes to come and sit on your shoulder. She likes to play with you, like she'll hand wrestle. She also really loves to chase straws. I actually recently taught her how to fetch a ball, and initially she didn't have much interest in mouthing items, which is not uncommon with rats. And one of the ways I kind of combat this so that I can teach my rats tricks like fetch and basketball is to find something that the rats are really engaged with, which is often something like a plastic straw or a crinkled piece of paper. So I will kind of drag this around to get them super excited, and then when I stop, I let them try and bite it, and then I immediately reward that. And we practice this until they start to bite it whenever I offer it, and then I can start subbing in other items. But anyways, in the case of Miss Carrot here, she is so into chasing straws. It's really crazy. Like, she goes absolutely insane. She starts running after it like crazy and trying to attack it. Which is actually a really good thing in this case because I really wanted to find something that I could use to transition her to playing fetch with the ball. And I'm very happy to say that that did work really well because she now really likes to fetch the ball. But yeah, she's a really sweet rat and she's really fun to train with. She has a pretty good attention span. Initially, she seemed to be a little bit scattered, but honestly, she's focused up really well. I mean, she's still quite young, and she's still pretty new to training, so I'm definitely very happy to see how much progress she's made there. And she's also really good with all my other rats. She's super sweet with everyone. She loves to groom the other rats, especially the older ones, but also her siblings. And she's just generally a very, very sweet rat. The only rat she has any issues with is my older girl, Raisin. Unfortunately, that's less because of her having issues with Raisin and more because Raisin has issues with new rats in general. Raisin tends to be pretty bad at intros, and she can get overwhelmed and overstimulated really easily, which unfortunately leads her to escalating, and it can lead to her being aggressive, but I'm pretty good at recognizing the signs with her and preventing that from happening. And as long as you do a slow intro with her, she's just fine. So I've been doing intros with Raisin and all my other rats and Carrot and her siblings for a few weeks now, and for whatever reason, unfortunately, Raisin kind of latched on to Carrot as the one that she doesn't like the most, I think because Carrot is the most likely one to run away from her, and unfortunately that tends to trigger Raisin to go after her. But I am happy to say at this point that Raisin and Carrot actually get along quite well. It's not perfect yet, but outside the cage, they are total buddies. And inside the cage, sometimes Carrot can be a little bit wary of Raisin, and Raisin can be a little pushy with her, but Raisin no longer chases her, and Carrot no longer freaks out when she sees Raisin. So they're definitely much closer than they used to be, and I think in a few weeks they're going to be really bonded. At this point, they're not living together full time, but it's definitely something that I'm going to try and implement in the next few weeks. Especially because right now they're doing 12 hours together, 12 apart, and they're doing pretty good for those 12 hours together. But yeah, in general, Carrot is a very sweet rat, and she's definitely one of those rats that I think would make a great pet for, pretty much anyone. She volunteers for handling, she likes to be pet, she's really just a very even-tempered and sweet rat. And I know I'm saying sweet a lot, but there's nothing better to describe her. Like, she's just one of the most even-tempered rats that I've had. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed getting to meet Miss Carrot. I will be making videos on her 3 siblings, so look out for those. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!